This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good afternoon, everybody. Keith Engel for TGI Sports Talk. And I'm here with my weekly vlog. I won't take up much of your time, I promise. This is not live, just remember. Live on tape. We're going to talk a little bit about the Knicks and Donovan Mitchell. Should the Knicks go all in on Donovan Mitchell? Utah traded Rudy Gobert for quite a haul from the Timberwolves. By all accounts, it may take 5 first-round draft picks, maybe 6. I don't know. Plus players, real players, to get Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz. And I think the Knicks are in a position. This is a top 20 player in the NBA, folks. Top 10 guard. 25 years old. The Knicks have not made a trade for this type of player since at least Carmelo Anthony. Over a decade ago. Besides that, the Knicks have not signed any major free agent. When I say major, I mean the LeBron James of the world, the Chris Pauls, the Kevin Durant's, because they don't have that building block. They've built up a war chest of first-round draft picks. And Leon Rose needs to make something happen. He needs to show that he can get something done on a major level. This team, as it's constituted now, probably won't be any better. And if you acquiesce to the Jazz's demands, whatever they might be, I'm doing it outside of giving them R.J. Barrett, which might be a deal breaker. If I'm the Jazz, I'm not making a trade without getting Barrett back, but I'm not giving them up. I'll give them 5 first-round draft picks. They're going to have to accept some of the protected ones that they got from other teams, like from the Mavs and the Wizards. The Mavs is for next year and top 10 protected, and the Wizards for next year is top 14 protected. But you give them 3 of your own, which isn't protected, and next year's draft pick might be pretty good. Because even if they get, let's just say they trade, Obi Toppin, McBride, one of Grimes and Quickly. I really don't want to trade both. And if I had to keep one, even though I love Quickly, I'd keep Grimes because I think he's going to be a defensive stopper in this league. Who else would I give up in this trade? Hang on a second. I'd love to be able to get a third team involved and get Julius Randle out of here in that contract because we're going to have some cap considerations. But forget about the cap for a second. I want to get him out of here. I want to get him out of here. I want to get Donovan Mitchell in here. If Julius Randle can be part of it and wants to buy back into the program and get his head out of his butt, well, then great. Maybe you get a third team involved and you get rid of some of these contracts. Maybe you make the Jazz take Fournier and his contract, $17 million. You need to move Randall's $21 million at some point. Maybe you don't need to do it now. And maybe Derrick Rose has got to be sacrificed here in his contract so that you can make this work. You're not going to get the Jazz to take all those players, so you'd have to get other teams involved. But maybe they take Fournier back. You take Rudy Gay's contract back in return, somebody like that. And if it doesn't make this team better this year, I don't care. This is about building for the future now. You don't get the opportunity to get top 20 players every day. 25 years or under. 25 years old. You don't get that opportunity every year. The Knicks haven't done this in, and by the way, Carmelo wasn't 25 years old when they traded for him either. And don't forget, the real win here and the real thing to look for going forward isn't how this team, if they make this trade, isn't how they do next year. It's what they can do as far as luring better players here in the future. You tell me the last time the Knicks signed a top flight free agent. And I know don't tell me Amari Stoudemire, because he was a consolation pick, and Amari had a great season here, and his knees gave out. The Knicks knew what they were getting, and it set him, behind another decade. They went after LeBron, they couldn't get him. They went after Chris Paul, they couldn't get him. They went after Kevin Durant more recently, couldn't get him. Because who wants to come here and play with nothing? Knicks have the worst record, I think, in the NBA in the last 10 years overall. And there's no building blocks for guys to say, I want to play with that guy. Well, you bring Donovan Mitchell in here, and now you've got you got one top 20 player right now. You got another guy who could be a top 20 player in RJ Barrett. I think he's heading that way. I think the team does too. Plus, you got Brunson, who you just brought in. You've got 3 top flight players, assuming Brunson works out, under 25 years old. Barrett's 22 years old, folks. 22 years old. Folks, I'm starting to sound like Joe Biden, folks. What the hell happened to me? Mitchell's 25 and Brunson's 23, I think. You'll be in play for major free agents if you can put that type of nucleus together. They'll be competitive next year. They won't be top 4 in the East, probably, depending on what other moves Leon Rose can make. But it's time to make a move, and you're going to have to overpay. Anybody's going to overpay. I've said a couple times on my show and other shows today, Danny Ainge is famous, for saying guys aren't available. Then when he makes them available, he says, I'll trade this guy, and I want all 5 of your starters, and I want 112 first-round draft picks. And then nothing happens. But if he's serious, Knicks, other than Barrett, what great picks have the Knicks had with first-round draft picks besides? There's not that many guys in France they can draft that are going to stink it up. Porzingis was a decent pick, but, he forced his way out of town because there was no talent here. You don't get this opportunity every day, and Leon Rose, it's time for you to show what you can do. You like collecting your former CAA clients, excuse me. You just got one in Hartenstein, the center from the Clippers. He's a former client of yours. Derrick Rose. How about doing a real good job? Go get former client Donovan Mitchell, who lives just 50 miles from Madison Square Garden, grew up 50 miles from Madison Square Garden-ish. Not upstate New York, by the way, guys. Westchester County, guys, you're not in upstate New York. Albany, where I am, upstate New York. Even that might be pushing it for some people, but Westchester County, no, north of New York City, north of the Tappan Zee is not upstate New York. And yes, I said Tappan Zee. Find a way to get this done. Maybe include McBride. I don't need all these guards. I'll put Grimes quickly. Who else did I say? Cam Reddish can be in this trade. Obi Toppin will be in this trade. I'm okay. I still got Now, three of the best guard / wingmen in the league, or to be such. I've also got Randall, maybe. I've got Mitchell Robinson locked up long term. I've got Jericho Sims, who is a power forward / center on the rise. They love him. I got Quentin Grimes, who's going to be a lockdown guard to play off the bench. I've got Hartenstein to back up Mitchell. I'm sorry, Mitchell Robinson. I get rid of some of the deadwood on his team in Evan Fournier. Maybe Randall's got to be sacrificed. Again, I'll find a way to work the cap and keep Randall if he buys back in, and I get to Julius Randall, not just performance-wise, but attitude-wise that I had 2 years ago. You give me that guy and those three guards, this team is really good right now. Then you could start acquiring free agents. Make the move, Knicks. Make the move, Leon Rose. This is why you're getting paid, to find a way to get deals like this done. You don't get this opportunity every day in the NBA. You need to get it done, Leon. You'll probably be complaining about what they give up later, but whatever. I will give you what you want to a point. No RJ Barrett. Keith Engel, TGI Sports Talk. You guys have a great weekend, depending on when you watch this. I'm out of here.